to court. American government took Binance to court. And because they are in court, that is why they can sue them and get all these legal remedies. But Nigeria has not sued Binance. We've accused them and then we've detained their officials in Nigeria. So what's going to happen if they leave? Nothing. You're not going to force them to give you data, because once they do that without a legal order, the folks that have released their data will sue them. So they can't. Olumide is back here, but if you look at the Binance protocol, Olumide, there are things that says that they can release information, but you've got to sue them first and then demand that information from a legal standpoint as a law enforcement agency or as a keeper of the nation's security. You simply can't say, give this to us in violation of contracts that they've signed. Olumide, welcome to the party. Thanks for hopping back again. What's your take on this Binance issue before we go into the BTC and the SEC? What's your take, Olumide?
Good evening, Carlo. Sorry for I actually thought it was my network because I wasn't getting your point.
It's village people.
Interesting times. So first of all,
yeah, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So first of all, I think the past few weeks now, the information I've gotten from regulatory sources, official, unofficial sources, I think the government has a path that a lot of people are not aware of. And, one of the problems the government has always had is bad PR. Because, the country is divided by party lines, private lands, religious lines. These things are really very difficult, despite rationality behind certain decisions. So fast forward, everybody knows that Binance has been restricted, particularly on the web portal by the NCC, just to diminish their reference capacity in our FX market. But interestingly, Binance released some press release and statements, and those statements showed that there was a relationship. In fact, at some point, they said between the last 4 years, they attended to about 650 requests of the government. They trained EFCC officials, they restricted accounts that were used for money laundering years back. So, and despite the fact that they had no regulation in Nigeria, there was that relationship because for an entity like Binance to come and train your enforcement official, particularly the EFCC, it's not just a method. So the question is, what changed now? I think what changed was that we have a new administration, and despite the fact that their manifesto showed that they were pro digital, it seems that the narrative changed with the sudden fall of the naira. Now, Binance press released one latest statement that makes it very interesting. First of all, the narration, and I've always had that narration, but I just wanted it to be more official because I've always heard that narration in unofficial channels that, yes, Nigeria is quite an interesting market when it comes to crypto population-wise, but when it comes to trading volume, we don't really matter to them. And that's one of the reasons why, despite the ups and downs, because if you look at Binance has over 170 million users. Nigeria's biggest bank, Access, has about 58 million users. Last time I checked. And if you understand markets, they look at value rather than the quantity and value of the customer. So the first thing they wrote was that, yes, Nigeria is an interesting market, but Binance is not their top. Nigeria is not their top, not among their top markets. So what they're really saying is that, well, it's not like we can't do it without you guys, but because we see a future in Nigeria. Nigeria has a young population. Nigeria has interesting people, and they see future. So rather than just they've been investing casually, because it's not going to cost Binance anything to have a license with all the relationship we've been building with government. I don't see why they shouldn't have gotten that license. Even the fact that there's Security and Exchange Commission just updated that license a few weeks ago, that makes it quite difficult for the interestingly, they wanted to tap from the crypto. So the question here, Carlos, is why does the federal government take that approach? Now, two things. SEC in US has, you can't compare. A lot of people forget that United States is the biggest market in the world and is the financial epicenter. So you definitely have some form of relationship with their SWIFT network, with their banks, their institutions. Unlike Nigeria, where it can be over reading. And Binance had a subsidiary. But you see, the United States allegation then are different. Yeah, Nigeria is saying that, Binance posed systemic in their FX market, and that's why when the CBN said 26 billion, I was like, how come? Because if you look at the market, a lot of people don't realize that Nigeria does not have liquidity that sometimes. So what if the CBN government meant the $26 billion was transaction, not inflows? It makes a lot of sense because chain analysis said that we moved about $57 billion within a year. So Binance captures about half or more of our trading volume. So yes, that makes a lot of sense. But a lot of people maybe CBN government meant inflows, but CBN clarified that. Moving fast forward, I think there are three issues right now. First, it's not even the legality. It's not much more of a complex issue because first, it took a while for us to confirm that it came to officials. Secondly, you have created some disruption in a market where a lot of Nigerians survive, and with unemployment at some of its highest level, Nigerians are really upset. And there's something Binance does that a lot of people don't understand. So if you look at one of the problems we have in the crypto market, counterparty risk. So, for example, I have a relationship with you, so I trust you, but a lot of people don't have that kind of relationship. So they have to build with different kind of people. And one of the things Binance P2P market did was that before you execute transactions, particularly you want to change your dollar, back coin to Naira, they had some form of escrow agreement. If you have some P2P market back then, Nigerians are falling to work on the high.
Olumide, I want us to look at the point, right? There was an accusation before it was made public, like you said, by the government could write to Binance and say, we are tracking this thing down, it's owned by a terrorist or it's owned by a money launderer, and Binance could respond, correct? That happens with every institution that is in like a financial institution. They react to requests for anti-money laundering, anti-terror. They request for that. The point is that the Nigerian government then accused Binance directly of affecting the exchange rate of Nigeria. So that's a serious accusation. I know that accusation does not have merit. A third party can't influence your exchange rate.
You know what the NSA is doing? I'm just looking because I brought in lawyers on Spaces, I brought in some experts, and I'm listening to both sides. So this is what the federal government is looking at. They can't do this, yes, you're saying the legal channel. I agree, definitely, because just like lawyers will say, they say before, even the fact that it's government, before you can get access to certain information, you still have to go through the court, which makes a lot of sense. But the reality is that you need to understand the legal systems of different networks and the arrangement of different. Now, the NSA's objective, from what I'm seeing, is that, they want to diminish that threat they feel that is happening. And that's why they are demanding. Look at
what threat? What threat?
That $10 billion was the ox.
What threat?
$10 billion was the ox. What their demand is, they want data. Like, okay, who are the top users in Nigeria? Now, the top users, why does the NSA want the top users in Nigeria? Simple reasons. We want to know those posting systemic threats now. Institutions,
what threats?
They're not asking for the data for. These are some of the allegations. So, when you say they should have gone through the court, I think what they are trying to do here is like, because if you look at the way they broke the news, it's more like, but
Olumide, the point is that we're not addressing the. You can't get. Binance cannot give any proprietary information or any information that was given to it by a customer without a court order, irrespective of who asks. And
that's why they even said, look, I agree, but their strategy is what they do at New York Times. Let me give you if you look at one terrorist, there was a terrorist that Apple one time that even the fact the government wanted that information, but Apple said, well, they can't unlock the phone. And if you remember FBI, that's even America. The government had to use some. You see,
the government, on that same story, the government had to unlock the phone themselves. Apple didn't unlock it.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So I'm coming to what government should see. Government understands that it's going to be quite complicated and kind of because they have to go through the legal process and get all the things and have to go under their jurisdiction. So what they're trying to do here is more like a media trial, because when you push all these things, they will still come back to the same.
Olumide, you've made the point. Olumide, the largest economy in Africa cannot be doing media trials with the largest blockchain company in the world.
The truth of the matter is that if you look at what they are achieving now, Binance, their last press release statement said they're willing to work with government, they have a relationship, and they have that. I understand what you're saying. I'm not inside of the government. What I'm saying, because why I'm not inside of government is that I've seen what the crypto market has done in Paris. I've visited many countries in Europe that I've seen how crypto industry has vibrated. But the truth of the matter is that when we want to have a very solid outcome, we have to look at what both sides are after. And like I said, government is really particular about the threats in their system. Binance is more concerned about, well, having a future with Nigeria.
But you are a money guy, right? I'm a money guy. Do you think an exchange can affect the exchange rate of naira to dollar? Do you think that what the government is alleging? Let's even forget what they are. What do you think that the?
Me and you know that. Honestly, since I've been trading, me and you know that that's not likely. But you see, one of the fears government have, and I understand that fear, like I've said in the past, is the reference point. If you look at the market right now, because many of my friends now, when they want to do transactions now, they have to go through OTCs to confirm from different sources. At some point, you don't need an OTC reference point. People will just go to the P2P and see what Binance is trading. I'll just go to my USDT NGN chart. That was the concern. But the fact that liquidity, no, that was far from reality. But, like a lot of government sources will tell you that they have every reason to have whoever concerned, because that reference point alone poses systemic danger. Because, Kalu, on this space, if you ask the average Nigerian, do they know FMDQ, FX market listing? They'll tell you no.
Okay.
But almost every Nigerian has the P2P market on their app. So that was one problem. Like you said,
let's ask a Nigerian. Block Trader has been here listening. Block Trader says he's a forex trader. He's a CEO of Block Traders Academy. What's your view on this, Block Trader? What do you think overall on the federal government Binance action? What's your take overall? You heard Olumide, you've heard my point. What's your take?
Okay. Good evening, everyone. To me, I don't think it's actually nice for the government to hold Binance responsible for what's going on, because first of all, Binance is not the only exchange.
But they're the biggest.
We have in Nigeria. We
have
the
biggest.
A whole lot of exchanges, but they are the biggest. I know that for sure. They are the biggest. And another thing, recently, I got the information that they just increased the exchanger fee for cryptocurrency exchangers to, I think it's let me confirm, so I wouldn't be saying a figure that I am not.
What does that fee mean? What does that fee mean? What does it do?
That shows that them increasing that fee. Now they are trying to reduce the number of exchanges we have in the country, because first of all, these are Nigerian tech guys. They are coming up with all these Bitcoin exchanges application and all that, and the market is already saturated. Now, apart from Binance being a foreign body, we have other ones that are owned by Nigerian CEOs, like the tech guys. So now I think the government increasing that fee, increasing the fee to, let me confirm the figure, to 150 from 30 million to 150 million. I think it's a way for them to like reduce the way Nigerians make use of cryptocurrency.
This is the government. This is SEC, right?
Yes, SEC. Yes, Nigerian.
Yeah, he's talking about SEC. I was getting confused when he said Binance. So SEC has it's almost.
I think it's missing. Yeah, I think it's missing one point there. If you look at the major updates on SEC, exchange rate, the exchange rate, and if you look at their major revised guidelines, because I've been looking at it over the weekend and I'm trying to do some research on it. Their major reasons were like okay, they don't want criminals to have any dealings with the market. They also looked at the loopholes they had before, so they had better interpretation of what as well, what the targets were, and like you said, the race for all. The key difference is that criminal or a convict, onshore, offshore, that has that wants to open crypto business, it makes it almost impossible. They feel that they are seeing some systemic individuals that will pose a danger to. That's what the Security Exchange Commission is. So if you look at the revised guideline, it's more like a deeper check on people that have access to that market. Also, they had a better interpretation because one of the problems I had, you called all virtual asset security. So the different categories and what qualifies you for each. And the end of the game was, I said that it's even difficult for a bank to get digital license in Nigeria than the United States because of the level of background check and affidavits you get. But the forerunner of this discussion is that what are they driving at? They're driving at they want weaker hold on the crypto market to have a weaker hold on Nigeria, which I feel is a counterproductive move. We've seen what the crypto industry is doing in Nigeria in terms of remittance, in terms of employment, in terms of social stability, because a lot of Nigerians use this asset for different. You see, we're in a bull run, for example, now, and if you look at the influx of capital in the last 1 year, it's increasing. Despite the fact that you could say that Nigeria is not systemic in terms of what Chinara said that after India, Nigeria keeps a high percentage of crypto assets as store of value. So it tells you that the market has the future, but
okay, look,
really needs to take.
What I see is this. Okay, I mean, I could argue that crypto coming into Nigeria is a good thing because what is the other side is crypto not coming into Nigeria. So if crypto is coming to Nigeria, even if you're not going to the Central Bank of Nigeria, it's liquidity in Nigeria. But it looks like the CBN and the SEC are saying one thing, then the NSC is saying another thing entirely. If you try to scare crypto, what will happen? It will go underground. So that means people like these guys that are here on this space, Block Trader and his friends, will simply do the same crypto, but will not do it openly. They will simply create their own. I mean, when the government know about P2P, P2P had been out for a long time before government got a wind of it. There are some going on now. I won't say anything again because I've learned my lesson that the government would not know about.
Yeah, but Carl, you see, let me be honest with you. The CBN is pro-crypto by design. If you look at their guidelines and look at there are some bank seals. I just don't like to mention names because I've done a lot of workings with some of these players in the industry. If you look at, for example, blockchain capacity, stablecoin, you look at CBN's remittance outlook for long-term plan, stablecoins are included. But you see, the problem here is that Nigeria is a country that has different interests. Like we have the political side, the security side, and the financial side. On the financial side, and that's why I tell Nigeria, I don't think crypto has a problem there. Where crypto is having a problem is on the political and the security side. The political, and that's why if you look at the ban, the CBN had banned crypto even before Emefiele reinforced it. But the CBN did not reinforce it. It was a political decision that made the CBN reinforce the decision. And that's where we are missing the point. Because when we just make it, it's the CBN, the SEC, we are getting the picture wrong. What these agencies are trying to do is secure the system based on their requirements. But if you look at it now, it involves the NSC, it involves the presidency, it involves lawmakers. And that was why I said that Nigerians take the battle to the political side. If you want a real solution done, because the truth of the matter was that when we had this issue, when Emefiele reinforced the ban, we took it to the National Assembly. Some section of senators killed it, and they said, "Well, the naira is supreme as long as they know they see crypto." And I was so shocked that these guys don't really understand the utility value of the crypto industry in Nigeria. But you see, Nigerians faced CBN and forgot the politicians, forgot the, and that's where we are still in a mess because we don't even know who we should be fighting.
Okay.
We are fighting the wrong enemy.
Okay, but last line, I want also get Blocktrade, but I don't think Blocktrade got his views across enough. But last, right? This is not good. Forget about Binance or crypto. It's not good that the Nigerian government can detain guests of the Nigerian government. It doesn't speak well that the government can invite you to come to the country, then detain you indefinitely. What it says is this: no foreigner will come to this country for a meeting when they're not really. I don't know how, if we're not getting that part of it. You win one, then you lose 10. We're the largest economy, we're a democracy, but you wake up and you detain foreigners. Even if, people have come here. There were 2 Indians that are here they are under arrest watch from India. There's a Pakistani that came here that's under arrest watch. There was a guy that came here from Lebanon that is under international travel ban. These guys all came here and flew out of here. Nobody detained them. But businessmen, you might like them, you might not like them, came in and the NSA arrested them. It doesn't... How
is the government's argument? Well, they went through, they asked the courts for...
But they invited them.
And I understand, but every system has their own. I'm not on government side, but the truth of the matter here is that, you see, we need to look at it on merit that the government really did not do a good job at the way, because I don't see Binance a problem to the government. Binance has worked with the government. That's really what's upsetting me, because Binance has done so much deals with EFCC, with our police, our police force, and the government itself. In fact, there was a point Binance wanted to open a kind of center at our free trade zone, if you remember, some years back. So why did this change?
What is going on, Olumide? And again, last one, I want to get you. What's going on is this, right? I think the government's looking for someone to blame for the high exchange value. So they want to eat their cake and have it. They want to float the naira, get that revenues from the naira in, because when the naira is floated, it's more revenues for the government. They want to float the naira, but they want to say it's not us that is causing this pain. It is that guy called Binance. He moved 26. What does move 26 billion even mean? Does it mean 26 billion left Nigeria? It's not possible. But they want to point to that guy. So everything we're saying here, they are looking for a fall guy. And unfortunately, they've got a fall guy in this gentleman. Sue them. I'm not defending Binance. I don't know them. But
about the moving of the 20.
Go ahead, Block Trader, go ahead.
This is a peer-to-peer service. Any money that is coming through Binance, I make use of Binance before the whole issue, before I had to move to other cryptocurrency exchanges. But what I mean is that if money is coming through Binance, that money leaves Binance too.
True, it's in and out. The money comes in.
It's not a situation where the money went into Binance and the money didn't come out.
I agree. It's in and out. Yeah, let me also get
saying that 26 billion passed through Binance.
Yeah, what does that mean?
It doesn't make sense at all.
It doesn't mean anything.
I think it was an error by CBN governor because it even created more confusion.
Yeah.
But I don't think the federal government is trying to make Binance the fall guy, because I think if you look at the fall guy, I think it's Emefiele. But on the larger context, I think what the government is just trying to do right now is that they want to hold their market. Because if you look at other outlines, if you look at other outlines coming in, look at outlines coming in, especially for banks, it seems that it's getting wider than we anticipate. But like you said, it's bad PR, because for me, I felt that Binance would have been more of an ally and would have made a lot of gains, because Nigerians love crypto. For everyone's sake, Nigerians are passionate about digital assets. You can't take that away. So alienating them is a bad PR. You won the election, with 1/3 of the total vote casted. How do you unify a country? You have to be very firm and smart in unifying. You don't take things that looks or are legit and you try to turn it upside down. How do you unite that kind of system? That's the problem I have with government, because now nobody that has exposure in digital assets will see the government as someone that has good purpose.
They will not come here. Nobody. So if tomorrow now, if just let's say tomorrow, crypto becomes legal, that maybe the U.S. government says, hey, we'll come. If Trump has said he's now going to look at crypto. If Trump wins, America is going to go more into crypto, which means once America goes more into crypto, then the adoption goes like fire. Let me land, right? That means that, right, they will come to Africa and they'll say, okay, where should we set up our quote-unquote digital clearing center? They will not come to Nigeria. They will not come here.
Yeah, but crypto doesn't work like that. You see, Donald Trump spoke about Bitcoin. He didn't speak about crypto.
Olumide, you are going to the weeds. So Bitcoin, crypto, you are going to the weeds. If Trump wins and he says Bitcoin, if he says he likes Bitcoin, the narrative or the understanding will be that he likes crypto. Let's not go into too much technicalities. If the president of the United States, because he didn't approve it last time he didn't approve it. This time he's saying he's for Bitcoin. If he comes in and he says the SEC should slow down on the regulation of Bitcoin and crypto, and he says he likes it, it will translate to more adoption across America. That's a fact.
Yeah, very true. Because in fact, he even used some NFTs to raise funds. That's a fact. But the problem here is that Bitcoin's ecosystem is already swallowing other assets.
All right.
BlackRock and traditional investors.
I'm just saying the signal is what matters.
Now is that the United States, I don't think the United States has a hold on the crypto market like it can. That's why Binance has taken, because the truth of the matter is that the United States do not have systemic compared to, they only use the US dollar denominated as some of
Olumide, the United States is the largest, most liquid, most connected market. There is no way you can have an adoption globally of anything in the world without the United States. China has banned crypto. Crypto is still functioning. If the US tomorrow makes crypto illegal to hold, that's the end. China has banned it, we are still holding it. If tomorrow US says if you have crypto or Bitcoin in any form or version, it is illegal, that's the end of that market. That is the end, because it will be illegal. So that's the end.
But I think you missed my point here. I'm not saying, what I'm saying here is that I definitely know the US as the most liquid and most powerful financial market, but the take here is that crypto market has a decentralized advantage.
What does that mean?
That was why Binance opened a subsidiary in the United States. It didn't work out.
What does decentralized mean, Olumide? What does decentralized mean? You still need to take your physical dollar to make it digital. So what is this? When I hear people say digital, what does this mean? There is no way you can take paper and make it digital without going through the financial system. There is no way. You still have to get it in somewhere.
But there are other options now.
Like
it's getting tighter. So there are many. That's what I'm explaining. There are other options now. If you look at the European Union Stablecoin Act, for example, that's why they are.
But the US makes it illegal. EU also has to follow. Haven't you seen HSBC and been fined because they have accounts in Iran and the US made it illegal? But HSBC, if US says it's illegal, it's illegal.
Now, because HSBC, PNB Paribas, and what was the name of this US account I use, they really outlined it for me that crypto is not allowed. So that's why when people are making this transaction, I don't understand what it means. Because the truth of the matter is that traditional finance don't want crypto. America will always protect the SWIFT network. And that's why Europeans and other continental powers are trying to find options. So saying the crypto market, no, the US don't see crypto market as an ally. They see it as a means to...
No, they don't see it as an ally because they don't have theirs yet. Once they get Fed coin, once they can have a way to get in, they would make it of it. They want to control it. They don't care what it like or not. They want to control it. Once they can control it, once they have Fed coin, they already have JP Morgan coin, they will make it, okay, yes, now you can buy Fed coin, now it's legal. That's what they're going to do. China has banned crypto. We're talking about it today. If US bans crypto, no space will have crypto because we all no more Visa for us. But let me get Chameleon here because he has been waiting. Chameleon, what's your take on this matter? Then Turo. Chameleon, we're talking about, what's your take? Chameleon going once, Chameleon going twice. To you. That just to you. Did I get that right? Just to you. Your hand is up, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah, you did get it right.
Yeah.
If Camilla wants to jump back on, he can. Just because I know that.
I gotcha.
3, 2, 1 is a bit harsh, but
sorry, but once he's done, he can come back. And after him, I'll go back to him. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. But listen, I think when we as I'm born Nigerian, but when we as Nigerians complain that there's no FDI for this state, for this state, for this state, we can see a prime example of why that is. Because sometimes we think that governance is about power, but a lot of times, for the vast majority of it, it's about competence. And I don't think that the current administration or anybody is actually displaying any level of competence to even attract any further FDI into the country. When, one of the leading FDIs from a currency perspective is just under arrest without a charge.
No charge.
For no reason. We act like this is normal. This is at best barbaric behavior.
Dude, it's a Wall Street Journal. It's a Wall Street Journal, and the way they crafted it was that the government is blaming Bitcoin, Binance for its failures. That's how Wall Street Journal crafted it. That's the narrative in America.
Exactly, and sometimes I want to go back to FDI. We talk about FDI, but we're Nigerians abroad in the USA, in New York, in DC, and we have access to some of the biggest funds you could ever imagine. But also, it's not that we have access to this. Some of the MDs of some of these biggest funds in the world grew up in Lagos, went to university in Lagos, and then maybe got their masters at MIT or something like that. You think they don't want to bring FDIs to the country, but when they can't defend actions like this, like some people can't even speak in our group chats. We're like, it's just question mark upon question mark. And so we're shocked when FDIs don't come to the country when they behave like this. And also, there's no real mechanism to actually call out some of this behavior, because then it just shifts to, the amount of departments I'm finding out that exist in government today is ridiculous, because it shifts from this guy to this guy to this guy. And it's like, okay, so why are you actually holding on to them? Like, what is their actual crime? Let's actually discuss what that is, and then let these people go. But, we don't have a legal system to actually, sue them or to say you've broken this law. We don't even know what law they broke. We don't even know if they know what law they broke. But it's like a free for all for all this type of things. And then we complain next month that there's no FDI into this state, into this country. It's frankly just frustrating.
Yeah, I don't. The government has every right to go after anyone that it feels has, the government can go after anyone. But the point I'm making is that do it the right way, because we're not a banana republic. We're not some small African country. We're the largest economy in Africa, for crying out loud. You just can't take people, arrest them and say, unless you give us a list of 10 names, we will not release you. We can't do that. We can't. Nigeria sued Pfizer. Pfizer is in the US, large corporation. We sued them in Nigeria and we won in Nigeria, and Pfizer paid. Nigeria also has been sued abroad. We went abroad, defended, and we did not pay. So it's not, what's this issue? We can't sue them. If you have an issue with Binance, go to Dubai, sue them. Go to US, sue them. Then you have the legal clock behind you. But doing it this way, I don't know, man.
It makes no sense. I think it closes the doors for more FBIs, and also I think, whether we like it or not, I think over the next few years we're going to see a change in how the crypto adoption.
They will leave now. If you're seeing Nigeria doing crypto on your own, they will leave, because they'll sue you tomorrow or arrest you tomorrow and say it's the government wants to find out your 10 biggest customers. So if they arrest you tomorrow, they'll say, give us your 10 biggest customers. This lady's in America, arrested her. Come on, man, it's not just the right way. I don't know, man, but let me just come in on if you go ahead.
Just also the last thing that you were talking about is that the US doesn't want to be a participant in the crypto game. They want to be the core center.
True.
And I believe that this is what they're stalling for.
Exactly.
That they are the ones that control, because no country on earth talks about their currency without trying to compare it to the US dollar. I know that, BRICS have made some attempts, and they probably will succeed to an extent, but the vast majority, the truth of the matter is that it's not going to happen unless the US say, okay, we want to be the center of it, we're going to control it with the
So the biggest mistake crypto guys made, I tell them this all the time, the biggest mistake they made was saying we're going to replace dollar. Once they said that was the end of crypto.
Exactly.
If they had simply said we're going to do transfer, they would have been in business today. But how can you go and tell the United States is powerful today because of one or two things, but mainly because of one thing. They are the reserve currency in the world. If you buy crude oil, you use dollar. If you buy cocoa from Nigeria, you use dollar. Whatever you buy in the whole world, you use the dollar. So how can you come and tell them that you want to take that power away? And crypto can take that power away. Crypto is better, more efficient, cheaper. If you transfer money from America to Africa using crypto, it's faster and cheaper. So there's a benefit there. But you want to go and tell the guy that you want to take away that power. The Bible says you first of all bind the man before you enter his house. So you are not smart. We're going to replace. You are which aircraft carrier? We will replace dollar. But it's.
So that's the biggest problem. But next, the problem is that when that eventually happens, because I believe it'll happen over the next 5 years, the last country they're going to look at is Nigeria. And that's a big problem.
True.
Because, we spend time in Kenya and, spend time in Nigeria and things like that. Like, a lot of these crypto operators, even in Kenya, know that. I'm always like, why is everyone obsessed with Nigeria? But they're like, listen, without Nigeria, forget about crypto in Africa. But now the current administration have messed up themselves to a point where it's not even going to get a look in, because you want to have Nigeria.
True. Let's come home. Let's call names. Let's take names. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a cosmopolitan guy. He's been around the world. He's Mr. Wale Edu, cosmopolitan guy, been around the world. Cardoso, been around the world. These are guys that know what's happening. Do they actually agree that the NSC can arrest international executives and keep them in Abuja indefinitely till they produce a list of 10 top crypto users? Is that what we're saying here? That these three people, Mr. Bola Tinubu, Mr. Emi Cardoso, and Mr. Wale Edu, are okay with this decision to arrest people you invited and keep them in Abuja? Is that what we're saying?
Well, I think that's a very fun question. I think one of the things that we're seeing with this current administration is that they want to try 100,000 things at the same time. And so what we're seeing is that they don't seem to all be aligned from that perspective. I think what should happen is, let me sidestep the question for a second, Kalu, right? When we look at Dubai, for example, the UAE, for example, they have one commander-in-chief, they have one goal, and everybody leads onto that goal. And there's no new magical administration or no new magical department that's created every other month. It's something we've never heard of before, right? In the case of Nigeria, it's just not the same thing, okay? And so when you have different parties that are meant to be on the same team, doing different things, I can bring it to a football analogy. When you have a left back that all of a sudden happens to be on the right wing, problems are going to happen on that corner. So I think there's a little bit of misunderstanding going on, but that's as a result of trying to do 100,000 things at the same time, because perhaps the previous administration or even the one before that has not managed to even say, okay, this is what we want from Nigeria from a holistic perspective. So whatever happens, there's always going to be a casualty of war. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what department it is. Now, I'm actually not entirely sure what department decided that it was okay to detain these guys. But you hear people like real official,
the spokesman to the but I rotate the room, right? But the spokesman to the president said they were detained for blah 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 blah. So this is Mr. Bola Tinubu's spokesman. Not the NSC. Mr. Bola Tinubu's spokesman said it. So
I think that's a point. I don't think that sometimes they think holistically about the things that they say, but that's just Nigeria as a place.
All right, gotcha. Let me come back to.
I'm gonna head back to the listener, and if something pops up again, and I have something to add, I'll plug up your speaker.
No worries.
Chat, man. All right.
No worries. So Chameleon, are you okay to speak now, Chameleon? Okay, let's get Lulu Nakaz. Lulu Nakaz. Oh, Bitcoin guy. Chameleon, you can speak. Go ahead. You've got the time. Go ahead, Mr. Chameleon. Go ahead. Okay, let me take you off, sir. Sorry about that. So we've got Lulu Nakaz. And there's a guy here that blocked me, but how is he able to request to speak? How is that possible? He blocked me, but he can request to speak. How is that possible on Twitter? World Peace, please go ahead. What's on your mind? World Peace. That's interesting. If you block someone, why?
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir. Go ahead.
Yes, thanks, Kalu, for hosting this space, and thank you everyone that is listening. So for me, I know that I'm probably going to be swimming against the tide here or going against the grain, but I have my reservations around crypto generally and crypto adoption. Okay, and for me, I feel that it's going to lead to a loss of freedom because eventually governments are going to take control of all the crypto exchanges or crypto in the world. And so the only way to have money is to have it digital. And so what if you don't agree with that government? That means they can take you off the system. Okay? And so you can't hold a contrary view. If you do, you're going to be cancelled. You can't earn, you can't trade, you can't do anything. And so I don't know if anyone else has those concerns, and also if there are ways to sort of make sure that doesn't happen. Thank you.
But look at it this way, right? The naira you have in your pocket or the dollar you have in your pocket today is issued by only the governments. Before the government issued currency, anybody could issue currency. Currency issuance was not only should we say a function of the government. The US dollar was issued by many individuals and organizations. Then the US government then says we're going to have a monopoly. Same with the British pound, same with the Canadian dollar. You could issue it and call it Canadian dollar. You could back it up with gold. But now only governments can issue currency. Do you have a problem with holding physical paper issued by the government? Do you have a problem with that?
Yes, to answer your question, yes, only governments can issue currency, but they can't control the supply of currency. Whether that government likes me or not, I can still get hold of that currency one way or the other. In short, even if I'm a drug dealer or I'm a trafficker or whatever, I can still get hold of the currency. They can't stop me, right? Because they don't. Once they've printed it and it's out of the banks, I can get a hold of it. But now they have full central control because it's on some server somewhere, and they just need some AI or some code to sort of detect me anyway, and that's the end of it, right? So that marriage of AI, blockchain, all this crypto and stuff is heading to the way where a few people can concentrate power in their hands, and if you go against them, you can just be locked off from the system.
I completely get you. I agree with you. I get where you're coming from. That block trader's hand is up. The baby has a block trader. You hear what he said? I mean, it's happening in China. He's not saying something like this unusual. In China, you have a credit score, you have a social score. The digital yuan can be given to you on your phone, and it can be removed from your phone. They can see exactly what you're spending, and if you don't like what you're spending, they can delete that money from your phone automatically. So what's your take?
Okay, that's us going a little bit into the future because I don't think Nigeria would opt into that.
We are still doing cashless banking, Abi.
I don't think Nigeria would opt for that option due to certain reasons. Now, we are in a country that loves monetary policies, and if all this happens, monetary policies will weaken. Now, that's the major problem the Nigerian government is having with cryptocurrency, because with the high inflation, citizens are moving their money to USDT, and this is affecting our government in terms of the monetary policy being weak. And secondly, there's reduction in signage revenue. Now, this is the revenue the government makes when it prints money. Now, with the adoption of cryptocurrency by most of its citizens, it's going to affect the government when it comes to this revenue generation. So I see why they are strongly against cryptocurrency, but it's not something that would last for so long. Why I say it won't last for so long is that they cannot fight the masses. That's just the truth. I remember when crypto was banned. I think that was during Buhari's regime. That's when the whole peer-to-peer trading started, before Binance even came into the picture. That's when Luno was banned. I remember back then we were using Luno to buy cryptocurrency. That was when cryptocurrency awareness really came into Nigeria, and especially through the platform called Luno. And then it was banned.
All right, I hear you. Okay, I hear you.
The only thing is that there will have to be, I think there's going to be a central bank digital currency in the future.
I hear
That's
you.
the only way.
Okay, I mean, Olumide, not the space not all about crypto, Olumide. I have you here. I want to talk to you about the Naira convergence as well. Just to say, listen, we now have the Naira, the black market rate in quote, and the official rate have now sort of like merged more or less. What's your take on this? Do you think it's government policy? Is it good? Give me your take on this, please, if you don't mind, Olumide. This convergence of the Naira and the dollar. I was in Lagos and I could go to the bank and the bank said they could buy my dollar, but they couldn't sell to me. The bank had no dollars to sell to me, but I could sell to them at the rate, and the rate was the same I saw outside as well. So what's your take?
Yeah, to be honest with you, but I think for stability, price stability has been the major concern for entrepreneurs and dealers in our market. So I think that's some positive news. But when you look at the price settling, and you look at the reality of food inflation, and you look at how foreign exchange affects inflation in Nigeria, I was reading Bismarck Rwanda's report, and it showed that FX takes 1/4 contribution hit on food inflation. So when you look at the rate and you look at prevailing situation of the market, it's very tricky to say that one is satisfied. But having said that, like you said, we've seen some form of stability. But there are a lot of things that also make that stability come into play. I've visited a couple of banks while I'm wondering, and I realized that many banks are less proactive in giving you cash. They prefer transfers, limits. Before, when the CBN Cardoso came in, the former CBN governor suspended all restrictions on the limit. Now it's back. The maximum daily transfer you can do is $10,000. So all these things also some form has contributed to the short-term stability. And we're seeing oil prices also ticking, remittance coming in play. You saw the CBN so excited that FPI has really bought so much of their money instruments products. So that really gives them some form of stability. But long term, definitely we have serious issues. I don't see like economics intelligence unit, the British intelligence firm said that the naira might weaken to above 2,000. While Goldman Sachs said that, well, with the recent wins by the federal government, they see the naira as one to. But I'm in between. I think I'm moving more with economics intelligence unit because so far the fiscal side, the budget padding, the cost of governance, and poor political reforms with high state of insecurity, one will not be able to rub off the concerns the naira will face.
Yeah, there's not that. Is that very, very quick? So we had Goldman Sachs say it was going to naira will strengthen, and we had the economist guy say naira would weaken, right? So we had two opposing views. So who are you tending towards? Are you going towards the naira strengthening to 1,200 or naira weakening to the 1,800? What's your take?
So when I read both reports, I think I aligned more with the economist intelligence unit because one of their key was that the federal government does not have the liquidity. They gave case of the CBN's real FX assets that after removing derivatives trading or loans, you see that the CBN does not have enough ammunition to keep the naira at a level the market think is fair. And why I say market thinks it's fair is that if you look at Cardoso, you look at the CBN, the Minister of Finance, they've always felt that the Naira should be trading at fair level between 700 to 1,200. So the economist just say that it's not possible that the only way we can get that is if we can get liquidity from foreign players. And the way it's looking like, Carlo, you could see that nobody really wants to give Nigeria money. And that's why Nigeria is considering the Eurobond market.
Wow.
You see that Egypt has already gotten about 35 billion from Dubai. We've gotten from 5 billion from World Bank. We've gotten another. But for Nigeria, it just, despite the fact that our presidents are usually the most traveled leaders, they have not turned to money. So I think that's why I'm sticking with EUI.
So it's all about supply, Olumide. Yeah. So you're saying in effect, and we make this point over and over every week, Olumide. Every week we say this: the Naira will only get value. Look at only one indices, gentlemen and ladies: oil exports. If Nigeria exports oil, your Naira will rise. When you people come and say, where will Naira be? Don't ask when Naira will be. Go to the NNPC website, or even go to like the site ProShare. Look for the crude oil exports in Nigeria. If crude oil exports go up, the Naira will gain value. Simple. There is no other metric you should look at. You can look at remittances. Remittances used to be, if remittances go up, Naira gains value. But these remittances people are now going to P2P. So the money is coming to Nigeria, but it's not going to the CBN. So remittances is a bit funny now. Then you have, of course, your FDI and your FPI. Those ones also have to do with the macroeconomic fundamentals. It will take time. What we're getting today is FPI. To take time, but the real measure is that oil export number. That's just it. If it goes up, we
have problem with that oil export again that I wanted to highlight, because you really made a salient point on we need to look at oil export. The cost, the operational cost to produce a barrel in Nigeria is 48.7, let's say $49 a barrel.
Yeah,
that is very pricey. Now, if you look at the arrangement of Nigeria's sharing formula, Nigeria doesn't take at max, at the highest side, 60%, because we share with all, we don't take control of all the production. So just imagine crude oil prices, present crude oil prices at $3 a barrel. The operational costs are taking half. Yeah. Now, out of that half, Nigeria is going to share 60% of that half. And we are producing 1.3. Now, okay, if you add all those condensates, a lot of people add, which I refuse to accept as prime crude, you still cannot get. And that's why, surprisingly, you saw what Saudi Aramco made, despite the fact that you can argue that, okay, yeah, they control the production and cost of production. But when you look at it with Nigeria's state oil companies' profit, then you see that even oil now, it's no more a guarantee, guys. So we need to get at least 2 million barrels a day.
The problem with Nigerian oil industry right now is that we've waited too long, and that it's going to get to a point where we'll have oil, but we won't have anywhere to sell it. Look at what's happening right now in the world. Saudi Arabia has gone to the United States, and they've bought the Shell infrastructure so they can bring in crude oil from Saudi Arabia. They import it to a refinery in America. They refine in America. They sell the PMS in America. So this is Saudi has bought the entire value chain. They have their tankers, they have the refinery, they have the filling stations in America. They're doing the same thing in South Korea. They're doing the same thing in China, the same thing in Japan. They are buying the infrastructure. Nigeria used to have US as the largest oil export market. Now we've lost it, right? Because US is now even exporting oil. So here, US is exporting oil, but Saudi is exporting oil to the US refineries in America. See how Saudi has dodged that? Now we are in India. India is our largest oil buyer. Saudi has gone there. Indians have left Saudi, Nigeria, and everywhere to start to buy discounted oil from Russia because it's cheaper. So you get to a position where the largest oil buyers, the US, the Europe, the India, the South Korea, would have locked up contracts with Saudi, Iran, and Russia. And Nigeria will have lots of oil, but nowhere to sell it to. We're not really diversifying away that oil we have. We're still saying that the oil we have, we're just exporting crude oil. With the refinery we now have, maybe can start to break down that oil into byproducts that we can export. But we're not yet there yet. And I feel that the more we waste time, the more these green people will catch up with us. Right now, the biggest risk to Nigeria that I see is a lawsuit in New York saying that crude oil is damaging the world's environment. And they'll put Nigeria as a defendant. Some crazy Greta girl will just do it. And they will put that building in New York and NNP, JP Morgan's as defendants for Nigeria. Will they win? They don't have to win. They have to damage the revenue streams to Nigeria so much by defending that case that it won't make sense to do business. And you think it won't happen? They've already sued Exxon, Chevron, Conoco in America on this exact thing, and they lost. They're going to sue them again. They'll sue them again. They will involve everyone. The idea is to make it difficult or expensive for you to be in the oil business. If not for the Ukraine war, guys, remember that right now, oil and gas was banned from getting any new loan in America. Oil and gas, they included gas. You remember Mr. Oshiba, when it was VP, went to Dubai and was telling them, gas is clean. Why are you banning gas? But in America today, they want to ban gas. In Washington, you cannot they've passed a law that any new building cannot use gas. Gas stoves, they are coming after gas stoves. I don't know what their problem is. So we can't use fossil fuels, we can't use gas. What should we cook food with? Wind and solar. What if it's cloudy? What if there's no wind? Like what happened in Texas a few years ago. But that's where these green guys are going to. And that's, but when it concerns them, now that they are in trouble, they are using coal in Germany. But they want the world to be green. Once they get this Ukraine war goes away, they will come back to this nonsense of banning fossil fuel. And Nigeria might be caught up. We might be too late in the game, that we haven't secured markets that will take our oil. So that's my fear, So we have to be very strategic. NLNG is at 50%, our gas, 50% utilization. This is our cash cow with 50%. We're not exporting, we're declaring force majeure. We're not investing in new trains. So this opportunity that Russia gas is now being in question and we can't take advantage, big problem. Big problem there. So if we can't export more crude oil, we can't export more gas, and price of crude oil falls to say 60, this country is over. I'm not making it. If oil price falls to say 60, it's all over. It's all over, because like Olumide has said, if the price per barrel is to produce is 48 and oil price is 60, is it with $20 will now pay everybody? So big problem. Bedi, you're on the line, sir. B Summer. Yes, I think.
Yeah.
B Summer, what's happening, man?
So
what's your mind?
Hope you can hear me.
I can hear you very well, sir. Go ahead.
All right. So I need to just make a point around something you said earlier around how easy it's going to be for the United States to ban crypto. Well, I will basically be talking about Bitcoin and why that is not going to be as straightforward as it sounds. Because we now have countries now that are adopting Bitcoin as
like which country?
Right?
Like which country?
El Salvador is one of them.
El Salvador is not bigger than Abia State.
No, I'm making a point, right? Again, I'm making a point. And China, again, was it the last bull market, 2020? They did ban cryptocurrency in the country. But as of today, the largest amount of miners, again, I can only talk more about Bitcoin, is still from China. I think what the best thing government can do is just to ban the usage or to ban the centralized exchanges, right? Which is just a fraction of the cryptocurrency market. Sure, it will reduce adoption to some extent, but again, you try telling any country that's experienced high inflation rates that and are currently using cryptocurrencies, that it's banning that if the market just goes underground, it's still going to exist. Crypto is not going anywhere.
Yeah, but bro, they haven't banned it. The point I made is still standing.
No, I know.
Let me ask you a question. If you
okay.
Just example, and I'm not insinuating anything, just example. If cocaine was anti-inflationary, if you buy a bag of cocaine, the price does not fall, it does not rise, it keeps your money safe. will you travel with a bag of cocaine because you want to?
But that is a false equivalence, right?
But
Because
it's banned. The
cocaine is
point
from
I'm making is that cocaine is
currency, as in it's a false
no
equivalence. I mean, you come with a much better
The
example,
point
right?
I am making is that cocaine is banned, so you don't even consider any effects whatsoever. You don't even
But
go
again,
there because it is
you are-
banned.
that does not mean anything because the equivalency is
It doesn't mean
wrong, as in
anything.
the first place.
What are you talking
We're
about?
talking about.
Would you okay? Let me give you. Would you send money? Would you send money to a bank in North Korea because they have zero COT? Would you put money in a bank
account?
account?
Send money if
Ma'am, so I'm asking you a question. Would you, if a bank in North Korea offered you?
The point you're making is, again, this would only make if I am used to, as in I know about cryptocurrency, right? And then there is as in the government of the country chooses to ban it. As in, it is one thing if you are not in the space and then the government chooses to ban it, and then obviously it's not something that you already used to. I'm talking about if this is something that you already live by, right? As in, and a large number of people, especially in high inflationary countries, right? You've got people from is it Turkey? You've got any country, any high inflationary country. They are already. You've got people from Argentina. You've got people from most of South America. They are already used to cryptocurrency. So even in the effect where the countries ban it, India has banned cryptocurrency a number of times. That did not stop the amount of cryptocurrency
because the US is the only country on earth that can ban it and it to kill it.
Only block
so I'm asking you. So I've asked you a question, and you say. Bro, allow me.
Again, get the point I'm making. It again different as in the US can block centralized. In fact, they're actually doing it, and it happened. Was it towards late last year? A number of the centralized rails for most of the DeFi markets were blocked. But again, that is, I mean, that can only happen. That is the extent of the power of government generally.
I'm not arguing. See, I'm not arguing. All I'm just telling is a very simple fact. The Indians, the Nicaraguans, the Chinese cannot ban anything global. Only the US can ban something global and to have an effect. Only the US. And I'm saying that the reason why, if the US today, if the US Federal Reserve and the FBI and CIA say holding crypto, blockchain, whatever you call it, is illegal, I am telling you that it will stop because nobody wants to break the law. Would you you give me would you
financial institutions in the US now?
But it has not been banned in the US now. So what are you bringing up US again?
So the point is it's not just a matter of saying it can happen.
So you are saying that
the feasibility.
Forget the feasibility, sir. Cocaine is banned.
We are coming down to reality. We're not.
What is this guy talking about?
We're not just imagining stuff, right? We're talking about right now. Is this something the United States government can do?
You are missing the argument completely. Nobody is saying the US government is going to ban crypto. That's not the argument.
No,
please, sir, allow me to make it.
If they choose to ban it, can you?
I don't want us to stay on this a long time. We're not debating if the US government is going to ban crypto or not going to ban crypto. It's a very, very simple point we're making. We're talking about the currency, that the US government is simply trying to control cryptocurrency. That's why it's doing what it's doing. The instant the US Fed can control the issuance, the regulation, the pass-through of crypto, it would accept it as legal tender. That's all we're saying. Nobody here is saying they're going to ban it. US government is not going to ban it. The point I'm making to you, sir, is if the US government wakes up tomorrow and says they want to ban it, they have their ways of banning it. I'm not the US government. You are not the US government. The same way they have banned you dealing with Iran, North Korea, is the same way they will stop you doing with cryptocurrency. Let's not go into the weeds of this. We're not experts in this. If they place a sanction on the country, you can't deal with the country. No bank will deal with you. And if you pass it through, especially if they target terrorism, do you want to be tagged as a terrorist by the US government? Is that what you want? No. So what are you talking about? Why are you not carrying cocaine? If cannabis is not medicinal, why don't you travel with it because it's medicinal? Nobody wants wahala. And everybody will run away from it. That's the point I'm making. I'm very simple. I'm not going to the weeds of, okay, this, that. Just trying to be very, very simple here. Luca, Lulu, you got the point. Lulu, go ahead.
Yeah, Carlo, thank you very much for having me on this space, as usual. From what I can see, I can see that you have a gap in knowledge about the technology, and and probably there's a gap in knowledge in the difference between Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin is a very, very unique asset, very, very unique in its technology. First, it is a libertarian technology. The way it was even created itself, it stems from, the need of humans, the fundamental rights of a human being to own money, to transact freely, without restriction. So, in fact, from what I can see from my study of Bitcoin as a whole, I even think I'm not the only one speculating. I think this technology came from the NSA, the U.S. Security agencies, because how come that the only cryptographic sequencer that the NSA cannot cryptographically crack was the one that Satoshi used? How all other cryptographic proofs can be hashed?
Okay, you guys you start speaking this big technical grammar because you quote unquote you have it. Listen, if you go to,
I just want to make a point.
Go make your point.
Yeah. So well, anyway, that's by the way. So for Bitcoin as a whole, the genius of Satoshi was the technology he employed in this Bitcoin in particular.
Can I ask you a question?
You understand?
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question, sir? I don't interrupt you. Can I ask you a question?
All right, go ahead.
If I have a paper dollar in my wallet, how can I take it to become a digital currency? How? Without going to the internet?
No, that's a different thing entirely. What you're talking about now is called real-world asset tokenization.
No, I'm just asking you, is there a way I can take my paper, dollar or naira, and make it digital without going to the internet?
Of course not. You can have to do that through the internet.
Okay.
But however, these are two separate things entirely.
Okay. No worries. Go ahead, sir.
These are two separate things entirely. That's why I said that Bitcoin and other cryptos are different. What you're talking about now is the technology that is employed by something like a USD Theta. That's the USDT that It's a tokenization of real world assets, actually. And that's a different thing entirely. Now, the US, of course, just like they did before, where they stopped everyone from owning gold, they stopped everybody. But did that stop people from owning gold?
Yes, it did. No. It did. In America, you could not own gold. It did.
No. People still held gold
for jewelry. Oga, you could. But you just answered your own question. You said they had to hold it underground. That was the question I asked you. So they stopped. So why did they hold it underground? Why underground? Why not openly?
But Bitcoin now solves that problem. That's one.
Who controls the internet? Who controls the internet?
See, would the US shut down the?
No, who controls the internet? Who?
The internet is centralized.
No country controls the internet.
But you don't think the US government controls the internet? You don't think so? You really want to tell me that you don't think so? Okay. The internet is decentralized. I forgot. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, the internet is decentralized. And it will be they will be shooting themselves on the foot for them to shut down the
I didn't say shut it. I just said who. I said, but
in
if
fact, the government actually
you guys
right
are
now,
funny.
human beings have been
You guys should remind me of the. I used to argue. I remember the year 1990. I was arguing with my friends. They went to Footmina. I'm sure there's some Footmina. My two friends, they were IT bros. They were arguing with me that the U.S. government cannot read emails. Back then, Bin Laden was just reigning. I said the U.S. government, because they created it, they can read emails. So it's impossible that there are nodes. That because there are nodes, you can't break the nodes, so you can't read emails. Where are we today? Who built the internet? Who built it? So you are telling me that if you write an email and that all this telegram, that the NS doesn't read it? Is that what you're telling me? Because it's not. That's what you're telling me. Okay, if that's what you're telling me, you are correct. Like I said, I don't know.
They are like decentralized technologies, for instance.
What does that mean? Every small thing moves to the decentralized. What does that freaking mean? What does it mean?
For instance, Olumide might know Nostra, for instance. Now,
jeez.
point from which you can shut down the internet as of now. There is no central.
I am not.
You go and you shut down
what if I put a nuclear? See, guys, I'm not saying you're going to shut the internet. I'm saying that you guys have been a bit naive here to say that the U.S. government does not read emails, does not know where you're. You think that the U.S. government does not know? You guys be a bit naive here, man. You're a bit naive here. This is naivety.
But in terms of shutting down this
technology, I did not say shut it down. No, I did not say. I didn't use those words. I said
even banning. If I want to travel with my Bitcoin, all I need is my 12C.
How will it get to your 12C? I asked you. How will it get there? I asked you a question. Can I take my dollars to this? You said no. So once I go from dollar, I must go through the internet to put it to digital. You said yes. Now you're telling me you carry digital. What are we talking about?
Specifically,
like I said, Mr. Carlo, like I said,
you say I don't have knowledge, Abi, but I'm asking you simple questions and you are answering simple questions. So that's the thing with you guys. You make it so complicated.
Actually, you can't actually change your physical dollars to Bitcoin. There are physical peer-to-peer markets that make that
without the internet.
I can just call
without the internet, Mr. B, without the internet. Yeah, but without the internet. Without the internet,
I can do it without the internet.
How would you do without the internet?
Let me tell you now. There's a South African guy that developed this USSD transaction kind of stuff.
USSD.
Bitcoin is dead now.
What does USSD run on?
I've used it personally, but it works with USSD.
What does USSD run on? What does USSD run on? What does USSD run on?
The way Bitcoin works.
It was a blackboard, Abi. On my blackboard, I write USSD. Abi, on my blackboard. What does USSD run on?
That's technology. Mobile, not internet.
Come, we're talking personal finance here. Use IT pool. Don't come here.
Can you just move on?
I don't. Let's move.
Infrastructure. Who owns satellite infrastructure?
I don't know if they will tell me I don't have knowledge of internet.
It doesn't make sense.
How does it work?
Trade your Bitcoin.
So you use Blackboard to trade your Bitcoin. You don't go through internet. Blackboard USSD.
To be honest with you, your question.
Anyway, I think I'll rest my case on this.
Okay, let's leave it. Let's leave the topic. The point we're making is we're not saying the US government is going to ban Bitcoin. We actually said at the beginning that the US government that if Mr. Trump wins, there's going to be more adoption of Bitcoin and blockchain. We said it here. We're not anti-Bitcoin. We said it here.
That is not what we're saying.
The point we're making is that, right, that if the US government decides to make something illegal, it's illegal. It does not matter of Bitcoin. If they make cannabis illegal, it's illegal. Today, there's cannabis in America, Abi, but you can't open a bank account. But it's illegal. So let's not make it to Bitcoin doesn't mean anything. There are many folks that have arrested here in America that they have found their wallets and without them breaking it, they will tell you this was in it. So let's leave that matter entirely. We're not experts here.
Again, let us try to reduce the falsehood being passed.
Nobody really cares about this thing, okay? The point we're making is that it doesn't matter. Nobody cares about this thing you are saying. What we're saying is that
I'm not talking about Bitcoin. I'm talking about some of the points we're making. One around the United States government can shut down the internet. As at now, that no one single country can shut down the internet. That is just completely false.
What happened in
if
Ukraine?
You understand anything?
What happened in Ukraine?
How the internet works?
What happened in Ukraine? What happened in Ukraine?
No one country can shut down.
What happened in Ukraine?
They can shut down access to a specific country, but the internet is the global
what happened to Ukraine when Russia invaded Ukraine? Did the Ukrainians have internet access when Russia invaded the first city?
Internet was shut down in Ukraine.
Good. Let's move on. Let's move on.
You are conflating things.
You just agreed that. Guy, you just agreed that Ukraine. Guy.
Even with that, again.
Guy, let's move on. Mr. Adams, we're talking about a lot of issues here. Fertilizer, Naira convergence, NPR, BTC. What's on your mind? Adams. I can't pronounce that. That's too long for me. Finance. What's up, sir? Go ahead. Adams, you got the floor.
Hello?
Yeah, Adams, go ahead. Yeah, I can hear you very well.
Oh, apologies. I was just enjoying the back and forth just now. The honest truth is, some people don't realize what government is. After God, the maker of heaven and earth, the next most powerful thing in this life is government. Government can do and undo. So this evangelist of no one single country can do this, you have not seen something. By the time the US waits in, their allies join. Before you know, you are having everybody shutting down this and everybody running away. So but that aside, let me just say what I want to say as regards this Bitcoin issue. I think I've made commentary on it on different forums. The thing is, we are not considering two things here: capital flight and control. Capital flight and control. Now, I want to ask a question, and I want our Bitcoin evangelist to answer me. How has Bitcoin directly impacted the Nigerian economy? How has Bitcoin directly, see the word I use, not indirectly, directly impacted some of all these digital assets and crypto assets?
No, but I think they have impacted. I think it's been very, very positive for Nigeria, because what they've done is that they've allowed liquidity to flow to Nigeria at a cheaper cost. There's been a direct impact, direct correlation between P2P, dollar availability, and dollar liquidity. Because don't forget,
that's not where I'm coming from.
I'm answering your question.
It's about capital. How will I put it now? Availability of the capital, I mean, to flow in the economy. So when we talk, those are like stocks. If I buy a stock of Dangote, for instance, I'm invariably contributing to the economy because Dangote is accessing capital from my phone. That's what I'm saying. So these crypto assets or digital assets, in quotes, these are just various projects in one way or the other that, in a way, I'm not talking of the whole exchange, the whole processing of funds, moving from one place to another. Of course, we can't take that. That's made it easy. I'm talking about re-impact. So you say, Mefele said something. This was what he was fighting. Like, we are not seeing this money in the economy. We are not seeing these funds.
The money is in the economy. The money is in the economy. You are not saying it in CBN. If there was no dollars in Nigeria, the naira would be 1 to 10,000 to 1. It's in the economy, Adams. It's there. Nigeria is confusing money in CBN and money in the Nigerian economy. If there were no dollars, it would be 10,000 naira to $1. It's in the Nigerian economy. That's why when you go to your quote-unquote guy on the street, he gives you dollar. Where's he getting it from?
Let me just.
Olumide, please. Adams, Olumide will hop in. Adams, Olumide, please hop in and maybe give your own take.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to.
Should I hold on?
Yeah.
Okay.
We should not stress this crypto narrative too much. There are no traditional issues that this not want to listen to. But the truth of the matter is that the crypto market has a direct impact on the Nigerian economy. You look at social factor, employment factor. I've done so many stories on that. So I don't want us to wait space. You can do this. I've done so many, and well-researched firms have done reports on how the crypto market has impacted on the Nigerian economy. So there's no discussion for that. Now, the key here is that what makes Nigerian government bother about the crypto market is that they don't have a jurisdiction over the crypto market. Now, funds don't go through, funds that don't go through traditional channels, it's almost like funds are not there. That was why the former CBN governor said, see, there are funds in the black market, but we don't know how those funds are coming in. And simply, what was it? Because traditional inflows was at its low, remittance was at its low, but the black market was built well because there were other means that the CBN had no control on, and that's where they get worried on. So I just wanted to address those issues.
Yeah, and the point I'm making is that the money is coming in, but the CBN has no control. That's what I'm trying to Ayo. The money is coming in.
Okay, so this is what I'm saying. See, from the point of government is established to manage an economy. If you have more funds flowing outside government than in government, it's dangerous because you don't know who is moving these things and for what. So that's what I'm saying.
But is it your money?
From the point, no, is it my money?
Yeah, is it your money?
Okay, people might be financing terrorism.
Is it naira? Is it your money? Are you supposed to know it? I mean, look, let's break it down now. So you are saying that if I go to America, my auntie gives me $100 to give to Mama and Kichi. You are saying the government wants to know about that $100 that I give to Mama and Kichi. Is that what you're saying?
At least the government should be able to account.
Why?
To help in planning.
No.
Should be able to apply that.
Why?
In a calendar year, so and so funds came in, so and so funds.
Why? No, tell me why.
Because sometimes our data from the NBA, sometimes it's squid.
No, but tell me why they should know that I'm giving $100 to Mama and Kichi. I want to know.
Remittance for so and so year was this, let's say $3 billion, and whereas remittance was actually $12 billion.
Okay, but why should the government know? It's like what do they want to know for? Is it their money? Explain to me.
No, see, okay, Kalu, I think this way I'm missing. See, government is not naturally knowing, so they will say, hey, Kalu, so you sent $1,000 to your auntie. No, it helps in planning. It's what it says. That's what I'm saying. It's economic management. It helps to know. Okay, for instance, if last year we had a remittance of $3 billion, and this year we have $5 billion, the government now knows how to position themselves and do something. Not that, for instance, the government is reporting that there's a remittance of $3 billion based on its official channels, and actually what came into the economy was $12 billion, and you are fighting hyperinflation, and you don't know where it's coming from.
But how does a dollar? Okay, but hold on. If I'm bringing $100 to Nigeria, to Mama and Kichi, number one, there's no inflation there. What's the inflation there?
For that transaction, there may not be inflation. But if funds are just pouring in and the government cannot give,
they are happy. Then the government is happy because money is coming to the country that the government can then raise a dollar bond and sweep. Because Mama and Kichi will not spend dollar, Mama and Kichi will spend naira. So it is actually strengthening the naira because the Mama and Kichi will take that dollars to her guy in the village, change to naira, which strengthens the naira because now there's more dollar. So now there's Papa Okoro will now borrow that $10 from Mama and Kichi and now import goods from India. Otherwise, Papa Okoro has to go to the bank and get dollars at an expensive rate from the CBN to import from India. So me bringing in dollars is actually helping the economy. That's FDI. Is it FPI?
See what I'm saying?
I'm just harassing you. I know what I mean.
What I'm saying is the government should be able to account for every one kobo that flows into the economy, every one kobo that flows out.
But I'm saying it's not possible to do that. I mean, you go to the US government, they ask you, are you making more than 10,000? That's what they ask you. They only, yeah. So
okay, Kalu, are you saying the US government, will not cannot account, if not 100%, at least for 80% of the money inflow and outflow of the economy?
Can't.
US
They cannot. They cannot because they only ask you above $10,000. So if I bring $9,000, they can't know that. They can't know that. Why? And they don't have to. They don't bother with that because to them, the impact of 9,000 below. Okay, they can assess that impact there. The point I'm making to you is this: Nigeria needs dollars. We need the dollars. If Nigerians are bringing in $100,000, I want to even encourage them to bring in more. I want more Mama and Kichis bringing in $100 to Nigeria. I want more. So I want to encourage it. I'm not saying you must register, you must do this, you must do that. I went to the airport. What airport is it? The airport in Kenya. They have an ATM machine. I'm going to post it. They have an ATM machine. You go to that machine, you put your whatever, it gives you dollars. Kenya, same thing in Qatar. You go to the machine in Qatar, you put your whatever, you send the currency you want, it gives it to you. So they instead of them tracking currency, they are trying to attract you to bring your money there so they can give you their own local currency and save your dollars. Every nation wants dollars. That's what we want, dollars. How you bring it to, no problem.
It's negligible. I'm talking of something like 26 billion.
With 26 billion now, Ayo, with 26 billion, Adams. So tell me who has 26 billion? This is how I listened to the CBN say that, make that statement. And immediately I said, what's he talking about? With 26, only has already clarified that for us. With 26 billion, how? Money is flowing. If you say transact, it's like you go to a Maput. Maput is selling rice. One plate of rice costs 1,000. So you give her 1,000, she gives you a plate of rice. Then you now go and say that Mama Put moved 1 million. That's just a transaction. What did she take home? You gave her 1,000, she gave you change. You gave her 1,000, she gave you pure water, then she paid her pure water dealer. What is her own? What left from her own? Money went out, but money also came in. Binance took money out of Nigeria, but Binance also brought money into Nigeria. Why are we not talking about the one that they brought into Nigeria? Why are we talking about the one that they took out of Nigeria? More remittances come into Nigeria. Remittances alone is 25 billion. Remittances alone, 25 billion. Before this P2P thing started, 25 billion. That's what people abroad sent to Nigerians. 25 billion minimum. After oil is remittances. Why are you even going there? You should be making it easy for Nigerians to bring money into Nigeria. Easy. Not to say file tax return. Do this one. Terrorists don't do remittances through bank. But that's a different entirely. Let's move on. Mr. Wasiu Olatudun. How you doing, sir? Sorry if I got that name wrong. Mr. Wasiu, what's up?
What's up, Carlo? How are you?
I did, my brother. See, I had a harassing me on my own space again. Can you just see? Can you see I'm being harassed?
But unfortunately, tonight I will not be supporting you.
Hey, yeah.
So I will join them.
Sorry, sir.
Here is the point. Yeah, my point is this regarding Bitcoin. There is some part which you are not mentioning. The technology behind the Bitcoin, which is blockchain itself, is a superior technology whereby Bitcoin is use case. And this blockchain is a superior technology in which US government cannot do anything about it. It's just like you saying that we should not use ATM again. It's just like you saying that other form of technology that we should not use cell phone again. We should go back to those analog days. Blockchain as a technology is superior, in which the US government admit to that.
Okay,
Use case. Listen to me, let me finish. So one of the use case is the Bitcoin. It's a store of value which is better than the US currency. So what the US is trying to do is that they need to take control. And any government that does not follow that blockchain and try to take control is going to be left behind.
Okay. You guys are missing the point entirely. You guys are missing the point entirely.
You cannot do anything but to find policy governance around it.
Okay.
So that's the main.
Okay. If we list
government that takes control of it will now lead to this digital age.
Okay, Wasiu. If we list the strongest currencies on earth, the first 10 strongest currencies on earth, do you know what they are? It's not the dollar. It's not the Swiss franc. It's 10 small, tiny countries that export crude oil. You go see Qatar, you see Kuwait, you see Brunei. Those are the strongest currencies on earth. Why don't we use those currencies as the reserve currency for international settlement? Because those countries do not have aircraft carriers that can bomb you if you try to do nonsense. The reason why the US dollar is used as the international currency of settlement is because the US can project power, meaning that the US dollar can be enforced as legal tender. When you quote Bitcoin blockchain, it's only a currency. Hold on. Hold on. You can only use a currency if it's acceptable. You can only use a currency if it's acceptable, not by the government, but by the buyers and sellers. December 2023 in Nigeria, Nigerians could not do transfers, normal transfer. They could not have money to buy baby food for their babies. In Nigeria, blockchain uses electricity. Hence, Nigerians were looking not just for just paper currency to buy and sell. We're all here. Paper currency, whether it's Naira, whether it's dollar. And there's no debate that blockchain is a better invention. I've said it here. If you transfer money from the US to Nigeria, it's faster and cheaper with the blockchain or Bitcoin. I've said it here. The point I was making is that you cannot go against the US and say you want to replace the US dollar with whatever it is. They will fight you. It doesn't matter if you are right. They will still fight you. If you are the US president, you will fight blockchain. If blockchain says they will take away your power to print, the US can print paper. Come to Nigeria and buy crude oil. It can print paper. Go to Saudi and buy cocoa or whatever. That's power. They are not going to give that power away to you because your technology is better. That's the point I'm making, Wasiu. I'm not debating if it is better or not better. Blockchain is far better. What I'm telling you is that the US government is not going to allow you take away their power to print and spend. That's what I'm telling you. Mode, what's up? Mode, you've got the floor. Modern day philosopher. This is a crazy space. See the long list of things I've talked about. Talking about crypto. Modern day philosopher. Listen,
Mr. Kalu, good afternoon.
How you doing, sir?
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir. Mr. Kalu, good evening. Mr. Olumide, good evening. And every person on the space. Well, I wanted to jump into the conversation when someone was talking about the implication of crypto to the economy, but Mr. Kalu had clarified that earlier, so there's no need to go back. Well, my issues are bothered about the crypto and dollar side aside. Let me start with a quote from Mr. Trump, presidential candidate for U.S. Presidential election for later this year. He said that a lot of people are now into the crypto. So here's my candid opinion. The U.S. dollar can exist with Bitcoin, but it depends on the exact transaction and the motive of the users. Mr. Carla explained for international trade, movement of rights and what have you, that the US dollars is what is king. Example, the SWIFT system and what have you. But where does crypto come in? Crypto, for me, I believe it is for we as individuals, not as organizations or institutions or countries, but for individuals to carry out their own personal business without any interference whatsoever. If I go to the bank and I want to send money via the Western Union, then I get the government involved. But if I want to transfer money to Mr. Kalu that is not in Nigeria currently, then the government will not be involved. But it has to be in some level, in proportion. Let me say, for example, now I keep 100 million of crypto in any wallet whatsoever now. There's no problem. But if I just transfer that 100 million into a bank account, automatically I will start having problems because I will explain where the 100 million came from, and they will do an investigation. And Mr. Carl already said that they know what is inside your crypto wallet. They can investigate and find out how you got it, if you got it legally or illegally. So for me, I would say that for international transactions for countries and what have you, then they need the what do you call it, the dollars, the pounds, and whatever they want to use. But for we as